Good afternoon, welcome to a new episode of Black Explained. It's been a long time for various reasons since I've made a new episode. This one is much needed. There have been so many things that have been caught on camera. Just as Will Smith has said, racism is not upping its game, it's just being caught on camera. And these racists are being identified. Let's start with Shauna Walker of Worcester, who decided to go into Birmingham and call a black security guard, stroke doorman, door supervisor, a nigger and a black cunt and various other obscenities, and spit at him and everything. You know, I've had this before, I know this feeling. It's gut-wrenching. Anyone who has been in that position knows it's just so much of a helpless feeling. It's yeah. Anyway, that was in May. I think the police have arrested her and questioned her. God knows what they'll do about it.
Can you go there and get sniped? I get shit. Fucking nigger plastic man.
Let's talk about myself. In May, I received insinuations or insinuative abuse from someone who I was arguing with about a parking space, and instead of sticking to the point, he decided to point out that there was a West Indian restaurant across the road, and that's where you eat, isn't it? You eat there, don't you? I bet you eat there. And I said to him, what's that got to do with this parking space? And he says, well, you eat there, I know you do. And I was like, what? And I said, why are you being racist? What's that got to do with what we're talking about here? And this guy said, I'm not being racist. My dad's black. Look at my hair. So this man was of European, and I mean 100% European appearance, apart from his slightly curly hair. So that means he was Caucasian with blue eyes, a European nose, thinner lips, etc., the bone structure, everything. And I'm like, and everyone who was around decided, which is the first for me, there was about 4 or 5 other people, I thank them, who happened to be white, actually joined in and said, hey, you're out of order. What are you playing at? It is a first. But they said this to this man who was like dumbfounded, who started to insult them. They realised he'd been racist and there was no need or whatever he was. Yeah. Now we talk about the England game, the final, v Italy. This was only 3 days ago, and I've had to take a minute to reflect on that because just upset when these fellas missed the penalties, and I immediately felt in my heart of hearts that they were going to receive some abuse. Immediately. And I know you think, well, that's just paranoid. But I know. And I knew. And that was that night on the Sunday. The next morning, Monday, the type of abuse that these fellas have received is absolutely disgusting. I mean, calling them monkeys, coons, niggers, all on social media, Instagram and Twitter, and you know, there was even an account which seemed to be from an Asian man, Indian or Pakistani origin. That was the name they put on the account. Who knows? It might have been someone just posing as someone who was Asian. But he or they had put pictures of monkeys and bananas and all sorts of stuff on, Saka. I think his name's Saka. So, I can't remember his name. The youngest fellow who missed the penalty, the 19-year-old lad. And I just think, oh my gosh. So, let's say hypothetically you are from what is seen as an ethnic minority. In this country it is minority. And you've decided to racially abuse a young man because he missed... No, he didn't miss a penalty. His penalty got saved. Have a word with yourself. Have a word. Do you think your forefathers, your ancestors, the people from your own ethnicity would condone that type of behaviour? You know, there have been excuses that have been floating around the internet. The people who are giving racial abuse, they're suffering from mental illness. Are we, okay, so let's say all of them are mental illness. That makes it all right, does it? That makes it all right to troll these men who've fed kids, you know, at school, who've set up foundations in their local community to help underprivileged young people of all ethnicities, who've, you know, been the face of football, who stepped up and took responsibility for penalties when others may or may not have decided to do so, who've accomplished more already in their young lives, in their early 20s, than most people, if not all, of these trolls, these racist trolls, have ever accomplished. I just find it so hurtful. So that brings me to that Monday, that anger that I felt. That anger that I will assume a lot of black people felt from the racism that was given to these young men. Someone asked me, in fact a few people asked me, who happened to be Italian, who happened to be my friends, who are you supporting? And I said, no one. And they said, why? And I said, because. And they said, because of what? And I said, because of the way England and the English and the British treat us. And they said, really? I said, really? I said, you know what? It's football, and that's what it is. But why should I support a country that does not appreciate me? And they said, oh, wow. I said, I hope it's a good game. I don't want anyone to lose, but I'm not supporting, I'm not getting behind anyone. And that is the God's honest truth. I would like to, but in my heart of hearts, look how they treat those star players, those brilliant players. When they are entertaining you, they're great. But the minute these black people don't do their jobs, they're just niggers to you. Have a look at yourselves. Do the right thing. when people actually act this bad, this inhumane, call them out, put them on notice.